Happy Friday, food FAQers. I'm Mariela.
Hey, I'm Eric.
And you like to sing.
This is the best day of the week, Madi. It is Friday. Your week is done.
We did it.
If you are listening to this and you're still at work, you're almost there.
Yes.
Just keep focused. You will be out soon.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're going to ask you to cook on a Friday. Usually there's pizza or something like that. But today, maybe we can convince you to make an exception.
Yes. It's going to be an exciting exception.
Right?
We got some
grown-ups and children alike.
Yes.
So the big surprise is we're going to make brinner, which is what we call it at my house.
I just call it breakfast for dinner.
I just want, for the record, to show that I made jazz hands as I announced this, and Eric just stared at me blankly. Completely unamused.
You know what, though? My mom used to say dinner when you had like a late lunch or an early dinner.
Yeah, so it comes from there.
Dinner.
This is brinner, and I swear if you Google it, you'll find brinner. I'm not just making this up. I feel like it's a thing. Maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to keep these cheap and easy, okay? We're going to talk about the main kind of like most intricate part of this is going to be fluffy pancakes. I got this recipe from when I used to subscribe to Rachel Ray's Everyday magazine. It's changed so much. Have you seen it, Keeter?
No.
Well, it used to be like a regular monthly magazine, and now it's like, I think, quarterly, and the paper's thick, and like Rachel is in the money, honey. You know those magazines?
To subscribe.
I don't know. I have like a love-hate with Rachel Ray, and yes, I used to subscribe many years ago. Many years ago.
Do you know when I started to dislike her? When she would do that. Do you remember that show? I think it was called $40 a Day. Where she was like away on like some trip, and she's like, I'm going to do meals for $40. And she would sit there and be like, okay, so the free water in my hotel that I took downstairs.
Yes.
And she would do things like that. Or she'd be like, and a tip of 78 cents. It's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes. And she's like, hot tip. Just ask him to give you one chicken finger. But I do like her. I don't know what it is. I like her personally. I feel like she's so smart. I like smart women.
I love smart women. She absolutely is smart. She's created an empire.
Yes. So what? Like 30-minute meals is freaking spectacular. I like that about her. But anyway, I digress, right? I'm not here to like defend myself against my love for Rachel Ray.
And go on for hours.
Although you say I used to hate her, and I don't remember this like whatsoever.
You did. When we were younger, you could not stand her. What happened is you got old and you got domesticated. And so you find other old domesticated people.
Oh my God. You know what?
Actually, she's not even domesticated. She is a powerhouse woman.
I mean, listen, that's right, Eric.
Listen, I'm not denying her success.
Oh my God. No, I know what you mean. And yes, she is definitely a lot to take in. She has a lot of energy. But anyway, these pancakes I have had from her magazine for years, so much so that I used to have a binder, like a 3-ring binder with sheet protectors that I would put in recipes that I cut from magazines so I can keep them all in one place, because that's the type of anal I am. Right?
I just wrote on scratch paper and threw it somewhere.
No. Like, listen, this was before I had children, and I was like super able to do this type of thing, and I still have my things. But anyway, this recipe is old, and it is the best recipe for pancakes that you will ever have. The magic of this recipe, which I'm going to link in the show notes, it's called the Best Ever Pancakes Recipe, Grant Melton. I don't know if you know, have you ever seen him? Well, you don't watch a show.
No.
He's such a cute kid, man. He makes the cutest stuff. He makes really good cookies. I got a lot of good tips from him. So these pancakes are no exception. What you do is, right, this is the magic part. So every pancake recipe will start with dry ingredients. This one starts with 1.5 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Boom. Whisk it all together and make it one mixture. In another bowl, you're going to mix in your 1 3/4 cup of milk, your 1/4 cup of melted butter. You should do that first. I find that to be such a pain in the ass when I'm like in the middle of a recipe and then I need melted butter. So start with the melted butter. And I wish they would list that in the ingredients. Don't you?
One day there will be a book, Madi.
Oh my God. Yes.
In that order.
Yes. And that's
one
us
day.
Revolutionizing fucking recipes suck. Blogs are annoying. We're going to make the world a better place. Eric.
Oh my God, they're so annoying. Back in 1967, my father woke up one day and it's like, I don't want to hear a fucking story. Get the recipe.
How do you make pancakes, bitch?
Right. Fucking hey.
Anyway, so you get your milk. It doesn't matter what kind of milk. I've done it with every kind of milk. It doesn't matter. 1 1/3 cups of that, your 1/4 cup of the melted butter, 2 tablespoons of canola oil. And then this is the magic part, okay? You are going to get 3 eggs and you're going to separate them. You're going to put the yolks in with the wet mixture, okay? Beat all that together. And then you gingerly, the secret to good pancakes is when you're adding the wet to the dry, you mix it just enough so that the flour is moistened and then you stop. You're going to see clumps, all that. That's okay. Because you're going to come in with the egg whites that you're going to beat until very, very stiff peaks. And then you're going to fold them into that mixture that is still probably a little lumpy, may have a little spot or two that you could still mix. And then you're going to fold it in. Doing this makes the fluffiest, tallest pancakes I have made at home. So delicious. And they're sweet.
I love that because, I actually do not like waffles or French toast and I love pancakes. Like I am a pancake connoisseur.
Right. And my pet peeve with pancakes is that I want to just taste a pancake and be like, that pancake is good. Like, yeah. I don't need to have syrup on it.
Although I do love syrup. So
I do. But I feel like it should have its own taste that isn't just syrup.
Well, because I think some people utilize pancakes as a vessel to eat syrup.
And yes.
And I'm not against that. I am more syrup the merrier. But I think the pancake should have something, a flavor to it also. Absolutely.
And then some tips on cooking pancakes, right? Go ahead and do it in butter. The best flavor is butter. I used to make them in Pam and shit when I didn't know any better. And now that I only eat pancakes.
Butter. Absolutely.
Right. How often do you eat them? Use the fucking butter.
Right. This is not something you're eating every day.
Exactly.
If you're eating pancakes every day, I want your life.
I do not want your life.
I want you. Listen, if you have the fucking time to sit down and eat pancakes every morning, I'm here like literally grabbing my coffee, running out the door, half dressed. Okay. So if somebody has the time to sit and eat pancakes in the morning, fuck you. Okay.
Damn, that was fast.
That's my feelings on this.
All right. I'm gonna let that sit there for a minute.
Let it marinate.
Oh my God. Anyway, I lost track. We went on a tirade about this, right? Oh, okay. Pancakes. I forgot where we were because that was emotional.
It's inside me, Mari.
Whoa, I'm shook.
You should be.
Anyway, I was talking about tips. So do it in butter. And then also when you pour pancake batter into the pan, use a cup measure. It's the best way to get the same equal little sized pancakes, which I think is cute. I like aesthetics.
And be careful with the flame. Be careful how hot it is. Because that's the thing. You can burn pancakes really easy.
Yes.
So, at least me, I found the pancakes is best cook best on like a medium heat.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a moment and to flip it when those bubbles start forming at the top.
That's right.
Then you flip it. But yeah, pancakes are really easy to burn.
Yes. But they are delicious and they're simple and they're special.
Really I love pancakes. So right? I am all on board with this. I love pancakes.
You know what else I learned? The extract you put in matters, right? It's like this recipe doesn't call for extract, but I put in the cake batter extract in these pancakes. Oh, delicious. With lots of sprinkles and Cool Whip or whatever, like whippy whip you may have at home. The kids love that shit. And then while you're making pancakes, you can be browning sausage in the air fryer. You can buy croissant from the BJ's, which is my favorite.
They have good croissants.
The best, you can buy, unless you go to a bakery. But, the BJ's croissant are my favorite. And all you need to do next is just make eggs. This isn't going to take you very long, you guys.
No.
And how do you make good eggs?
Okay. So here's a funny thing. I hate eggs. I absolutely hate eggs. I think they're disgusting. They smell like farts. And
yeah,
I don't like the texture, but I'm going to give you a recipe for eggs. It's the only type of eggs I eat. So if you go to the grocery store, you can buy pre-diced ham. And what's funny? I'm also not a big ham person.
Really?
So yeah, I'm not a huge ham person. I mean, no one could turn out a honey baked ham delicious.
No one.
But I would like to see someone try. No one's going to turn it down. it's funny. These are two ingredients I don't really like, but I like this recipe.
Yes.
So I take this diced ham and I cut up some onions and some bell peppers. Again, super weird, Marty. I always say use the colorful bell peppers because I don't like the green ones. Use the green one. It's like 3 ingredients I do not like that I'm putting it together, and for some reason it works. Huh. So you're going to take your bell pepper, your onions, get just and the ham, get a tiny bit of olive oil if you need to, put in a pan and start sauteing everything until it gets nice and good. And depending on how many people you serve, you could take, let's say 4, 5, 6 eggs, however many people you're serving, put it in a bowl and start whisking it together. You're going to beat them and season your eggs. Like we season everything in layers. So go ahead and just put some salt and pepper in there. When you're done sauteing, take the pan off of the heat, turn that heat down to low. While the pan's off the heat, go ahead and pour the eggs on top of everything. Mm-hmm. Start using your spatula to move the eggs back and forth a little bit. Once the eggs are going to curdle, some are going to start cooking. They're going to stop cooking because you took out the heat. Go ahead and put it back on the medium heat and take your spatula and go over it again, back and forth a couple times. Take it off the heat again. Keep moving the eggs around, put it back on the heat. So here's the thing by doing that. When you cook the eggs very low and slow, it is really creamy and delicious. You do not add any cream, do not add any creme fraiche, nothing in there. Do this method. They're going to be kind of runny and they're going to be silky, but they are cooked. Okay. And I hate hard eggs. That's what I think it is. I hate hard rubbery eggs. And it takes us several minutes. So after about 5 or 6 minutes, it'll be done. And Madi, they just come out really fluffy and delicious. And you have all those ingredients mixed in with it. And it is really good. So it's so funny. Not an egg person, but I absolutely eat these eggs. So if you don't like eggs, try this method and it's great.
Absolutely. Because people think of eggs as like, oh, it must be cooked quickly. And yes, it can be. Yes. But anything can be cooked quickly, but it tastes much better when you take your time and you let it develop. And eggs are no different,
It's okay to eat your eggs a little runny. Eggs are, they're pasteurized. You're fine. I'm not saying drink a raw egg, but it is okay to eat
a little jiggle in your jiggle.
Right. Yeah. A lot of cultures do eat raw eggs. We have a culture that we steer clear from that, but it's okay the eggs be a little runny, and it is really good. Just cook it low and slow. It's great.
And when you're salting your eggs, just salt each yolk and a little bit on the whites. And that's how you perfectly salt your eggs. And I find it, Eric, one more little quick tip. If you use a small rubber spatula to go ahead and run the spatula from the curved end of your pan towards the center. And you do that motion and you form these little ribbons of cooked egg and you just fold them over gently, just like you're saying. Yep. And that's how you create this emulsion, because it's an emulsion, and it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I don't like eggs either. My husband loves my eggs because I make them like that nice large, like curds. They're fluffy and they still have a little sheen to them. And that's really the way that eggs are made best, without a lot of color either.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not going to be much color. It's going to be a very faint yellow and not a lot of color. And so I like it this way, and I hope you guys try it this way. This is really good. Yeah.
So you're going to have brinner, which is a new term apparently that I'm sure Google has on deck. But Eric,
they do not trademark FoodFAQ.
But since we're making an easy dinner where you just have to make really pancakes and eggs, which takes collectively maybe 30 minutes, right? Why don't you put together something like sweet and sexy also?
Yes. This recipe you're going to want to make, you really do need to make it a day in advance. Okay. Because it needs to sit and marinate. So I made it the other day. It is so delicious.
What is it?
So I made a tiramisu the other day.
The best dessert ever.
It was so good. So Cameron was over the other day. He was like, tiramisu is my favorite dessert. Let's make it. It's really easy too. So you're just going to get ladyfingers in the grocery store. Ironically, when we were shopping I could not find ladyfingers. Goya had them. So I thought that was interesting.
Look at Goya.
So got them there. And you need about 24 ladyfingers, however large you're going to make this. So what I do is I took 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. Do you know my heavy whipping cream kept curdling when I was trying to make it into whipped cream? And I think it's because my whipping cream was not cold.
Wow, that's never happened to me before.
It curdled twice.
Wow. So it's true.
It was so weird. And then finally I had to get more heavy cream out of my refrigerator that had been there for a couple of days. And it turned into whipped cream.
Interesting.
It was so weird. So you take about 1.5 cups of whipped cream. You go ahead, you put it in your stand mixer, get it whipped up, about 1/3 of a cup of sugar, throw it in there. When that's all done, you need 8 ounces of room temperature mascarpone cheese. And no, you cannot substitute for cream cheese. You do need a mascarpone. That's one of the rare times I'm going to say you have to.
Yes.
Baking and making desserts really is more of a science. So this is the one rare time I'm going to say you have to have the mascarpone cheese. Yeah. It can be a little expensive. I found that Lidl though for like $2, $3.
Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah. So it's really good for that, for mascarpone. And then you fold the mascarpone cheese into the whipped cream.
Mascarpone.
All right, Giada. So I should actually say that before you do that. And you see, Mari, this is why recipes need to work this way, because you also need to make espresso, and you need to make about 2 cups of espresso. Right. So it's a lot of espresso, and you have to let it get to room temperature.
Right.
So get your espresso to room temperature, then go ahead and make your whipped cream and your mascarpone cheese. And to the espresso, I added some dark rum to it.
Yummy. I like that.
So good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your espresso into like a bowl, because you're going to take your ladyfinger individually and you're going to dip front, back, put it in your pan, front, back. And the reason why I'm saying this over and over, because you're not going to let it soak. You're literally going to dip the front, dip the back, put it in your pan. Dip the front, dip the back, put it in your pan. You're going to have 1 row of these delicious espresso rum soaked ladyfingers, and you're going to put a layer of your mascarpone cheese whipped cream mixture on top. Then we're going to do a second layer of ladyfingers. Finally, put the mascarpone whipped cream on top. And then you got a couple options here. I use unsweetened cocoa powder that I went ahead and sprinkled all over the top of it. Or you could use shaved chocolate. If you have some shaved chocolate, you can put some shaved chocolate on there. And it's interesting because this dessert is not an overly sweet dessert.
No.
And that's what's interesting, but it's really decadent.
Creamy.
It's so good. The ladyfingers soak up all that espresso and that rum. You can make it without rum. You do not have to put the rum in it if you need, because remember this, you're not baking it. So that rum is still in there. So if you're serving it to kids, you know, if you want to omit the rum, you can. It's not enough rum really to do anything, but if you want to omit it, it's not a big deal. Some people can't have alcohol. And you need to go ahead and put in the refrigerator. You want to cover it, put it in the refrigerator for minimum 4 hours, best overnight, minimum 4 hours. But what's incredible is that cocoa powder on top is not sweetened. The whipped cream only has about 1/3 of a cup of sugar in it. So it's not overly sweet. And then that espresso that you're dipping in, that espresso does not have sugar in it either. Right. So the espresso rum mixture. So it's just this incredible, very decadent. It's cold. So it's great for this time of the year. And it's just one of my favorite desserts. And when you make it and realize how simple it is,
I'm going to have to make this.
Mari, it was so good. So I think this is a perfect dessert if you're making a simple, quick brinner, like you want to say.
Yay, TM.
If you're going to make a simple, quick brinner, make this dessert afterwards and either late at night, because if it was me, I'd be eating it late at night after the 4 hours. Or next Saturday, you might be entertaining, or you're just sitting around with family. It is so good. And tiramisu is really good, by the way, with wine. Just let you know.
What kind of wine?
Red wines. Just a hearty wine. It's just really good.
I don't know. I don't want to drink with cream, and I don't know. It's just me though. There's many drinks that are creamy and people love them.
Right. It's just, you know what it is? I think it's just like the tannins in the wine just go really well with the bitterness of the
coffee.
So, yeah.
I'd try it. What am I talking about?
You'll do anything for a glass of wine. You'll try it.
I don't know, Eric. I'm not as whiny as I used to be.
Well,
you beg to differ.
Yeah, I'm going to beg to differ. I mean, orange crush and, vodka. So
there's a lady's drink.
But yeah, this is really good. And I love this whole mixture of this meal. I love the idea of breakfast for dinner just because it kind of gives something different to the family.
Yeah, and it's fast and special and
right. And it's Friday. Right. You don't want to slave over a stove. You just want to
do something quickie.
Just do something quick and go hang out and relax. Because guys, tomorrow is Saturday.
Tomorrow's tiramisu day, bitches. Don't forget.
Yeah, tomorrow, listen, you can have that tiramisu for fucking breakfast, okay? I am not going to judge you.
Never.
Because there's coffee in it.
Of course.
There's coffee in it. So wake up, to a beautiful salted tiramisu, and you're going to love it.
Yes. Enjoy, you guys. We hope you're loving this week. We've loved making this week up for you. And we hope that you try these recipes and you let us know which are your favorites. Enjoy the weekend.
We love you guys.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.